Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Saturday, September 17th. On the impact map for today, much of the same with lingering showers in our northern areas, although not in the far north. So across some of the fire locations across the Payette and the Salmon Chalice, there'll be a mix of sun and some clouds. Can't rule out a brief shower, but most of that will start sagging south into central and southern Idaho, into northern Utah, northeast Nevada. The main thing we're concerned about today, with a powerful storm system slamming into California, we're getting the dry edge of strong southwest winds, but fairly low humidity in the mid-teens. And that kind of a wind effect with a downslope off the Sierra can sometimes pose a problem. So we've highlighted these areas of orange, gusts of 30 to 40 miles per hour. This will just be for about a 4 or 5 hour period this afternoon before higher humidity returns overnight. You'll notice by tomorrow, there's even the chance of some showers over the high Sierra near the California border, also further up north in northwest Nevada near the California border. Another wave of showers on the light side, moving back into the central mountains of Idaho, up into areas of our ongoing fires. We do see a shift of dry, strong 30 to 40 mile an hour winds going on again a bit further east over eastern Nevada, western Utah, and the Arizona Strip. The difference here is that a lot of these areas received copious amounts of rainfall, not just during the 3-month monsoon season, but about 5 to 6 days ago, a big swath of monsoonal moisture came up. And so while things will dry out and you can't rule out a chance of an ignition, finding a pocket of dry fuels, our concern for large fires is minimal, but we'll have to watch this area. And again, on Monday, winds over several days can dry out surface fuels quite well, so we'll keep that in mind. Smoke forecast for today, main smoke producer will be the mosquito fire in the Tahoe National Forest, with southwest winds pushing it into northwest Nevada, into parts of Idaho, at least the western part. That should be diminished tomorrow. There's a lot of moisture moving up into the western part of the Sierra, and this might be the swan song for our smoke this fire season, hopefully. Pockets of showers continuing again for about the 10th day in a row across much of the area, and there was a fair amount of lightning with it, but again, much of it was wet or occurring over fuels that are non-critical. Only one start down here in Utah. Did have about a 40-acre fire up here in south central Idaho, but again, moisture is moving into that area. And the last 7 days, you can see that big swath of moisture that pushed into a good portion of southern central Nevada, western Utah. That is why we're not concerned immediately with the increasing winds there this weekend. But you notice here in the Sierra Front, things are a lot drier. It's been a long time since we've had some good precipitation out there, and those dry winds will be a bit of a concern. Also concerning this gold area here. These are where 100-hour fuels are in the mid to upper single digits. Elsewhere, they've moistened up quite a bit. Satellite imagery shows first off, that powerful storm catches your eye right away. Lots of moisture still growing, still developing with this low pressure area that is continuing to stretch and push further south. Now, the tightening upper level wind gradient here with these height lines coming closer together is what could produce those stronger winds coming in off the Sierra. Also, some showers flaring up here in northeast Nevada, parts of northern Utah, and this will move up into southern Idaho again today, but a lot more sun for some of our ongoing large fire incidents up in the northern part of the central Idaho mountains. That's a temporary feature, though. Satellite imagery, again, shows some of that moisture. This shows the water vapor that you cannot see with the naked eye. And notice this dry wedge of air ahead of this powerful Pacific storm pushing into northern California. This will be nosing into the Sierra Front and into the western Great Basin later this afternoon. So we look at that, and there's that dry tongue of air shown pretty well by this afternoon. Notice on the 7-day, these areas are in the yellow. And so we are looking at those winds here. You see those oranges and purples right off the immediate Sierra Front. That's a downslope wind, 30 to 40 miles per hour. Humidity in the mid to upper teens. So that is a concern. And a larger area of strong winds here with humidities upper teens to mid 20% range. Again, that's kind of high for grass fires or light flashy fuel fires. And they also had about a ½ inch to an inch of rain in a lot of these areas. So not as concerned out here over central areas as we are across the Sierra Front. Precipitation for today, most of it will be across northeast Nevada, northern Utah, parts of southern Idaho, not really getting into a lot of our current large fires at the moment. Now for tomorrow, different story. This storm system drops south, really starts winding up. You see this dark green over northern California, spilling a bit into northwest Nevada and starting to enhance with a southerly flow into the central Idaho mountains. You see this dark green over here. You'll see that in a second. There'll be strong winds ahead of it. Again, humidities in the upper teens to near 20%. But again, these areas where you see these strongest winds, they got a lot of rain just maybe 4 to 7 days ago. So not as concerned out there. These winds up here in Idaho will be a test to some of the ongoing incidents for their control lines, but the humidities are going to be high and there's precipitation on the way. Notice this precipitation this time is not in the southern area. It is up in the central and northern parts of the Payette and Salmon Chalice and some of the northern Sawtooth, where we are seeing some of the we will be seeing more precipitation there. So this will be a bit of a low-end wetting rain. The greens here are about 1/10 of an inch. And looking further down the road to Monday, we're looking for this closed low just to sit there, gather strength. It actually cuts off the main circulation, so a lot of this moisture will be very slow in creeping over the Sierra front. Maybe a dry day, not much precipitation out here across the rest of the Great Basin. There'll be some strong winds again, but the same story. It was dry humidity levels starting to dry out, but again over pretty rain-soaked ground. And looking at precipitation on Monday, very heavy precipitation across the Sierra. This should really do a number on that mosquito fire. These purples are over 1 inch of rain in just a 24-hour period. Definitely good news. 3-day precipitation totals reflect that. Now Tuesday all eyes will be on the storm because eventually it will get ejected out to the north and east, and it does so on Wednesday. See, on Wednesday the moisture moves into northwest Nevada where we need it, where it's been kind of dry, and starts getting into western Idaho, and then by Thursday it slows down and sits right over Idaho. Dark green here indicates steady, moderate to locally heavy precipitation. See, our PSA is green. Now I want to look at the precipitation amounts. This is about a 2-day rain amount from this whole storm system as we go from Wednesday to Thursday, and you can see it hits the Sierra front, especially northwest Nevada, where some of our driest fuels are, and also hits very hard into the Payette, the northern Sawtooth, the Boise National Forest, most of the Salmon Chalice. These blues to whites and purples are 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rainfall on top of what's already fallen. And we go into Friday, on the left, we do see drier and warmer air coming in. And we should see some above normal temperatures following this Friday into the weekend. But if the models stay on track, that significant rain should really put a damper on any return to large fire activity. See that on the 7-day total precipitation accumulation map. And the 8 to 14 day, just like that last Friday outlook, does show a return to above normal temperature, especially across the western part of the Great Basin. Also a drier than normal signal. But remember, these normals are for the 4th week of September, so not like July heat. Keep that in mind. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.